My name's Amy and I have 2 children. I fed my wee boy until he was a year or so, and I'm still feeding my wee girl at the minute. She is 16 months. I returned to work whenever I was feeding Beth. She was 9 months when I returned to work. I work in a school. I was a wee bit anxious returning to work. Beth was very dependent on me and loved her milk. So I was a wee bit nervous returning to work. However, I was really lucky because I had lots of support from my family and my friends, and I did come to our breastfeeding group here in Omagh, and I had loads of advice from our lactation consultant. So I did feel quite prepared when it did come to the time to return to work. So whenever I was planning on returning to work, I didn't want to stop breastfeeding. I wanted to continue feeding Beth for as long as I could, really, and I didn't want that relationship or that journey to end at all. So the lactation consultant actually gave me a return to work pack. As well as that, I was very open about my breastfeeding journey at work, and I spoke to my colleagues about it, and if they would have asked me how things were going, and if I was tired one day, you know, I would have said, oh, I was feeding a wee bit last night, and they were really, really helpful. And one of my colleagues actually said that she was breastfeeding her child, and while I was pumping, she offered to sit with me in my classroom. That was lovely. So we struck up a really, really close friendship based on both of our breastfeeding journeys. So I was able to pump during the day, and I used that milk, I gave that milk to the creche where my daughter went. So I'm just really, on reflection, I'm really glad that I was, I suppose, courageous enough to go to my employer and say, look, this is where I am with my journey with breastfeeding, this is what I want to do, you know, can you help me, can you support me? And he was really, really happy to give me everything I needed. And again, I'll go back to work now when school starts in September, and I'll still continue with my journey and the routine that I have, because it's working for me and it's working for Beth. So it's worked out really, really well, although I was anxious at the start and a wee bit nervous about how things were going to go, and wondering, am I going to have to stop breastfeeding? Am I going to have to put an end to this? I didn't have to, and it worked out really, really well, thankfully.